Welcome to Knights of Mandalore. I am Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And we are talking about Bad Batch Episode 6, Decommissioned. I'm going to open up by saying this episode made me like the Martez sisters. I know that's a big shock.
I was always a stan.
Well, and Lad and I were talking about this when we were watching the episode. Before we get to talk about the episode, I just want to bring this up. I would have liked them more if they didn't get 4 episodes because it just dragged on and on and on. And I'm like, okay, I love you, Ahsoka, because I went through like 5 seasons with you. I'm fine with you. But it's just I understand that they wanted to have characters that were distrustful of the Jedi to show how the Jedi have like fallen out of grace with the people. Because when you think about it, that's why no one disputed all the Jedi being wiped out, because they were like, oh yeah, of course they're evil. Have you seen how they treat us? But 4 episodes, it should have been max 2.
Yeah,
because
no, definitely.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Definitely felt like it dragged on when they initially introduced them. And then sometimes like the situations were kind of forced sometimes that they were in. So it kind of drew out the worst in the Martez sisters sometimes. But I did like, Trace and Rafa. I thought they were a really cool pair. And I liked their like perspective, I like them a lot in the first episode of that 4-episode arc. Yeah.
2, I was like, okay, these guys are generally cool characters. 3 and 4, I was like, can we move on? Because it's particularly frustrating when you know the next arc is the Siege of Mandalore that we've been waiting for years to see. And I'm like, just get to the freaking siege.
Yeah, that was frustrating. But now we're here in, the Bad Batch, and they show up again.
That was a big surprise. I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? And then it's like they show up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can see this. And I like them in this episode too.
Yep. Yeah, I think this definitely highlighted their good side. And we'll kind of, maybe you can give us a quick rundown, like a 2-minute summary of the main part of the episode, then we can kind of jump into a little discussion.
So the Bad Batch, if you've been watching the show, they're basically adjusting to life as mercenaries. And the episode kind of opens up with Omega being trained with like a little bow and arrow, which I think is pretty cool. She now has a weapon.
Yeah, she's becoming Katniss.
Yes, becoming Katniss. Omega Katniss. It's just Katniss with a big Omega sign tattoo, like dark side.
Well, what if she's related? She's a dark side clone.
What if she's actually dark side clone? That's how she's so lucky. That is great. All right, anyway. So their handler, I guess, calls them up and says, okay, so you're going to go into this factory where a bunch of battle droids are being decommissioned, and you're going to steal a command droid, because the information on these is really wanted by my associate, because they fought clones. And the more that I liked how they actually explained more about the command droid, because they said the more they fought clones, the more they won and learned. I was like, okay, because in the Clone Wars, they were just some battle droid variant, but they added on to like the lore surrounding that particular configuration.
Yeah.
So they go to this planet. I can't remember exactly the name of the planet, but anyway.
It was Corellia. It was
Corellia. I don't know why I should forget that, because even Lad's like, are we going to see a young Han Solo?
Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't do it, though. We don't need to have every character reference, at least just yet.
Yeah. So anyway, so they go there, and then so everything's working pretty well until they run into these masked ladies that they realize they're in competition for the command droid. So one of them gets unmasked, and it's one of the Martez sisters. So I was like, I knew instantly who it was. So I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here.
Yep.
But then something happens in this episode that was my big WTF moment of this episode, is when Wrecker hits his head and then starts saying, good soldiers follow orders.
Oh, man. Dude,
like,
that was... Dude, it's crazy because the thing is, you can go back and watch it. We discussed that, how it seemed like his chip was activating, or, when he hit his head, he kept hitting his head a lot. or just sometimes his head was sore, and then it actually was linked together where like when he hits his head, it's like kind of causing the chip to activate.
And then he keeps hearing Crosshairs going, "Oh, good soldiers follow orders. Good soldiers follow orders." I was like, "Oh, this is it's happening." Yeah, because exactly, like for the past ever since probably the first time he hit his head, which was like episode 2, we were like, "Wait a second, is he gonna go all Order 66 on the Bad Batch?"
Yeah, that's crazy. And it kind of like it was in his head, and he was like out for a little bit, but he kind of snapped out of it.
And then I liked how they activated battle droids because what happens is that someone raises the alarm and then a bunch of police droids show up and they get into a firefight, but then they activate the Bad Batch and the Martez sisters team up and activate battle droids. So we have one final like hearing the battle droid voices.
Yeah.
Which I felt like, oh, that just brought back so many memories. It's almost like
did we win?
Yeah, it's almost like in that episode of Star Wars or Rebels when they go onto that planet after that droid, and then all of a sudden the battle droids are coming up and they're playing the music from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's like Rex versus the command droids, like one final battle. And I was like, oh.
Dude, that was so good.
So then they escape. So what Hunter does is he has Tech plug in a little data cylinder into the command droid's head so he can copy all the information and give it to the Martez sisters because he knows they're gonna put that information to good use. So as the Martez sisters are flying out, they get into a hologram conversation with a figure that we don't know who it is. Going and they're giving like a report of what happened. Now, lad, who do you think said cloaked individual is?
That's a good question because we know it's male. They did say him.
We know it's male? Oh, they said
him.
Okay.
They said him once or twice. So I'm pretty sure it's male. Which kind of rules out Ahsoka. Yeah, we can double check. I'm pretty sure though. But assuming that is the case, it's a good question. I mean, the first thing I was thinking Bail Organa first thing, but I feel like that I don't know.
At first, I thought Obi-Wan, but I felt it wouldn't work for 2 reasons. One, by this point, he's on Tatooine protecting Luke Skywalker, and second off, when would Obi-Wan have come under any contact with the Martez sisters?
Yeah, that's true.
It could be Bail Organa, and the costume that we did see the hologram in kind of looked like a sort of diplomat's costume, like garb.
Yeah.
Watch it be Jar Jar Binks to completely like screw with our minds.
I was actually thinking like, what if it's Yoda, but he has just like a giant.
He's like standing on a stool.
Yeah,
he's in his hover chair. He's in his hover chair from episode 2, and then he just has those robes to make him look taller.
Yeah, it's like, why were you wearing that? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question because I don't know. I feel like Bail is like the safe answer. It could be Bail, but
wait,
maybe he's starting rebellion and such. But
what if it's Rex?
That's true
because he's wearing a garb. He could be concealing his identity, and we know he's gonna show up in this in the show at some point. I know. I really want to see Rex. I'm trying to see right now.
Dude, I think you may be onto something because they're trying to get like a battle droid's information. Like how to fight and combat strategy. Just someone who wants to fight. And then they also said that they came across a group of rogue clones. And this could be cool information for anyone, but if it's Rex, then he may think like someone that's not following the protocol like everyone else. Like where he went to go look for Cut McQuain, maybe he'll be like, oh, I think that's a good point. I think it could be Rex. Yeah.
I was like, well, wait a second, because Ahsoka could have told Rex when they went their separate ways, hey, go find these people. They're good people and they'll help you. And then he found them and said, get me a battle droid helmet. I got Gregor and Wolf here. We know how to fight battle droids.
Yeah, that's a good point because he's going around looking for people. Like he went to Cut McQuain. He's looking for people. And maybe, yeah, Ahsoka could have told him about the Martez sisters. I mean, who else would know the Martez sisters?
Only Ahsoka.
Yeah, that's a really good point, dude. I think you're right about that. That'd be
and they were
crazy.
together at the last episode of Clone Wars.
Exactly. It matches up pretty well. Like, you know, he would maybe like contact the Martez sisters, and they would I don't know, I guess now they decided they want to try to help. You know, maybe they heard about what happened to the Jedi, and you know, because now they trust Ahsoka, and they're like, you know, Rex is like, Ahsoka sent me. You know, everything went to pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking, because we keep putting out a Jedi, but they never said it was a Jedi.
Yeah.
And in this show, where they've only shown the Jedi in the first episode, and that was like a brief thing, because I feel like that this show is just to be clones only. So it makes sense that it could be Rex. Because who else? Because let me put it this way: who else knows that much about battle droids?
Yeah, that's true. Rex would know. Yeah.
And there's not that many clones that don't have the old chip in their heads.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah,
it could be happening, bro.
I think that's our theory then. I guess we're going with it's Rex.
That's my theory. I don't know about you, but it makes sense.
And what if it's like he shows up, like the shadowy figure shows up on Ord Mantell, and they're like, Rex, and then he pulls like his cloak. It's like, hello there.
Yeah, no. It's like in Mandalorian. He shows up and wrecks a bunch of like stormtroopers. He lifts up his helmet. Are you Rex? I am. That would be so good.
Rex Skywalker.
What if it's Boba Fett? Now we're getting really crazy.
Boba Fett. That'd be crazy if it's Boba Fett or something.
But most likely, of the two, it's way more likely it's going to be Rex, because we do know he shows up in this series.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if they should have not put that in the trailer, but I guess they're just trying to hype it up. I mean, I guess most people supposed he was going to show up, but I think it would have been cooler to be like a surprise, you know? Yeah,
it's kind of like in Batman v Superman, where they put Wonder Woman in the trailer. But can you imagine how much more like shock in that theater if no advertisement showed her, and all of a sudden she goes, she just pops down, and it's like with her arms crossed, and everyone's like, oh my gosh.
That would have been really good.
That's the problem with trailers. They put the big things that should be big reveals not in there. Particularly, it would have been even more of a shock when she's walking off a plane and they go, Miss Prince. And everyone goes, oh no. I mean, oh yes.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think most likely based on what, let's assume it's not going to be anyone with force powers. It's not going to be a Jedi, because most likely it's not going to, because this show has like completely gone away from the Jedi.
Yeah.
Most likely, I mean, it could be Bail Organa, but who else would know about the command droid though?
That's true. Command droid, that is a Rex territory.
Yeah, or one of the clones, and we know that there's not that many that haven't followed Order 66 and are not under the influence of that chip.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Oh, watch it be Din Djarin as a child, just Bo-Katan. Wait a second.
Bo-Katan.
Oh wait, they said he.
Oh yeah, they just say he. Yeah.
Like, dang it, because that would have worked too.
Yeah. Oh man. Maybe it's
so many.
Maybe it's it's Sebulba. He's back and he wants revenge.
Here's another thing. I thought about this last night, actually. What if it's Darth Maul and he tricked them into thinking he's a Jedi, because he's done that before?
That would be insane if that was actually the case. We were saying that'd be cool if he showed up in something like that, you know?
Although here's the thing. Here's the only reason that might not happen, because they've put him in practically every Star Wars show
Yeah.
So they could be wanting to do something a little more original and a little more original with their content. So because if they keep putting Maul in all the stuff, it's gonna get tiring after a while.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but it would be really cool. He lifts up the hood and all you see is the horns, and that's the end of the episode because apparently this episode has the worst cliffhangers. I'm like, my gosh, they end right as it seems like the guy's about to speak.
I'm glad they didn't show us who it was.
Oh man, just let D. Bradley Baker speak if that is Rex.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I mean, what if it's Snoke?
Snoke actually would not exist because according to the Vader comic, he was cloned from Luke's hand. Because that is the stupidest thing of all time.
Well, they didn't. He could be from his hand. They didn't directly say it, but they did show like Luke's hand and Snoke in like the same general area with all that cloning stuff. So,
speaking of all that, there is a rumor. I think we're pretty much done to talk about the episode, unless you have anything else you want to add, Vlad. Anything at all?
No. Just I love the banter between the Bad Batch and the Martez.
Yes, that was fantastic. I was like, yes, I like this.
Yeah, they had good chemistry with them. I think it was I think Trace is the more serious one. I forget exactly which one is which, but
I thought Rafa's the more serious one.
Maybe it's that one. Yeah, I think you're right. Rafa's the more serious one. Her and with Hunter, and they're like battling it out together. I thought it was pretty funny.
Was so good, and I love how they're both like he shoots a droid to save her, and she shoots across him to blast the droid.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
And then I would rate this episode about, I think, a 10 out of 10. I genuinely enjoyed this episode very much.
Yeah, it was solid. Got to see cool returning characters, a cool mission. Also we got plot development with Wrecker. Seeing what's going on with that
blew my mind. I was like, I thought honestly, the whole hitting his head thing, I thought he was just sore because he's constantly hitting his head.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was it. But when he started saying good soldiers, I was like, oh no.
Yep.
They're building towards something.
We got that little shadowy figure at the very end of it. So altogether, I think, definitely a 10 out of 10 episode.
Yeah. All right. So here's the rumor. Take this with a grain of salt. It's a rumor. I'm going to read you the title of said rumor, lad, and you react. Yeah. George Lucas to bankroll new Star Wars trilogy, taking back creative control from Disney.
That would be crazy. I don't know. Like, I feel like people wonder, but it'd be sketchy. Like, I feel like there's no way to fix like the sequels or create better sequels, or I mean,
he has plans for sequels. Now, guess who the main bad guy is for the sequel?
Who?
Darth Maul and his apprentice.
Oh, really?
Hang on, I'll share my screen real quick. You got to see this. This is badass.
Oh.
Look at this. Hang on. Screen is sharing. Look at this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's his apprentice.
And which comic is this?
This is Star Wars Legacy Volume 1, number 2. And Darth Talon is the girl.
I see.
Can you imagine, dude?
Yeah, that'd be cool if they adapted something like that. But I don't know if George would go with this as his storyline.
And I guarantee you that if this happens, guess what I think is going to happen to the sequels? They're going to be thrown in the old trash compactor.
No!
Which, once again, 7 was okay. 8 and 9 were... 8 was complete garbage. 9 was less garbage.
Yeah.
But still.
Sequels. Sequels who?
No, but this was his plan for a sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Maul.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But once again, I'm kind. Let me put it this way. I've heard 80 times that Kathleen Kennedy is out, so I'm not gonna like. So it takes a lot to make me believe a theory.
Yeah.
Until it's actually announced that she's out, until it's actually announced by an official forum, I'm not going with this. But it would be the biggest, like, it would be a really amazing moment if that happened.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to keep our ears open. For any new Star Wars announcements. I mean, we got like, back. I think it was, D23 when they announced like or investor meeting when they announced like, all those Star Wars shows. So we just gotta keep our ears open for any news coming out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think it's a good about as good a place to leave it. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Knights of Mandalore. We are gonna go record an episode of Under Two Capes because it's our 1-year anniversary. Hell yeah. Yep. And we will see you guys next Monday for our continuing coverage of the fantastic show, which is The Bad Batch. I am loving the show so much.
Good. So good.
And remember, hand shot first.
McClunky.